Hello class, this is the fifth video covering the Math 145 Test 1 review. We're going to start on question number 21. It says find the equation of a vertical line and a horizontal line passing through the point -9, 6. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So this is 6, and then down here would be 9. So let's see if we can put a line through this. Let's see here. Oops. I gotta move that over a little bit. Okay. All right, so that's the vertical line going through -9, 6. And the equation of this line is x equals 6. Right, so for the vertical line, you'd write x equals 6. And for the horizontal line, it's happening at -9, right, 6. And the equation of that line would be y equals -9, right? Y equals -9. And that's pretty much it, right? We know the horizontal line would have a slope of 0, right? And this vertical line would have a slope of, I'll just write the word letters UD for undefined, right? That's 21. Let's keep going. Let's move on to 22. All right, so number 22 is a tricky problem. It says the area of Arctic sea ice has been increasing at a constant rate of approximately 73,700 kilometers squared. So right away, I know my slope, right? My slope is 73700, okay? I'm going to try to write that neater. So I just typed that in. So the slope is 73,700. When we're thinking of the equation of a line, right, we're always thinking y equals mx plus b. Whoops. Let's get my pen tool working. Right, so the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. So we know m, but we do not know b. But we know the base shear x equals 0 corresponds to 1979. So x equals something corresponds to 2015. So 2015, that's how many years after 79? So let's see, 35, 36. And we know that the area of ice in 2015 was 4,620,000 kilometers, right? Or kilometers, excuse me. So if we know m, we can find b because basically y in 2015 would be 4,620,000. And you know what? I'm going to use my typewriter tool because my handwriting is so sloppy. And that looks a lot better, right? So 4,620,000, that's the area in the year 2015. But we don't write year 2015. We write how many years after 1979 is 2015, which is 36 years. That's where this comes from, right? If we do 2015 minus 1979, you'd get 36. The slope, we said it's decreasing, so we know it's negative 73,700. So we can solve this for B. Let's pull out a calculator, and we'll do the calculation. So I'm going to first multiply 36 times 73,700, right? 36 times 73,700. And you see we get a pretty big number, right? 36 times 73,700. And now it's negative, so to get b by itself, we have to add that to both sides of the equation. So you're going to do the 4,620,000 plus the 26 53200. Let's make sure I got that right. Right, so when we did the 36 times 73,700, we got 2,653,200. It's negative, so we have to add that to both sides of the equation to get, that is the initial value for B. Okay, so let's just write that in there. When I clean this up, you're going to be left with 7273200 equals B. Okay. And I think the answer that they give you in the back of the book is slightly different than this. I believe there's an error in the answer key because I am positive that this value is correct. All right, so when we write the full equation, we're going to write y equals, my m is negative 73,700. And again, I think I'm going to use the typewriter tool. It just looks neater. So after I take care of the typo, this is our equation, okay? So it says use this equation to figure out the area in 2025. So 2025 is how many years after 1979? You can do it in your head, or you can actually just do it in your calculator, right? You would type out 2025 minus 1979, just 46, right? So you would sub in 46 into the equation above, and it would look something like this. Right, so I'm going to substitute 46 in for x in the equation, and when I type that up, I get a big number. Looks like 3,883,000 is my answer. So we'll just write that in here. So when we're all said and done, right, that's my final answer for that. So here's my answer typed out a little bit nicer. Now it says, all right, using the model in letter A, how long will it take for the ice to disappear? So that means the value for y would be 0, and you'd have to solve this equation, okay? So I'm going to replace y with 0 and solve this equation, right? So we could subtract this 7 million number from both sides and divide by negative 73,700. I'll do it in my calculator. Right, so if I'm solving this equation for x, I would have to do 0 minus this 7,273,200, which would become a negative. All right, let's double check. And we would divide that by negative 73,700. Right? And I get 98 point, we'll call that 98.7. Right, when we solve this equation. Right, let's just, right, so you would get x equals 98.7. So if you want to translate that into a year, how many years after 1979 is 98.7? Right, so if I add 98.7 to 1979, we get the year 2077.7. So let's call it 2078. Year 2078. Right, that's how long it'll take for there to be no ice, assuming the ice continues to melt at this rate. Right, 73,700 kilometers per kilometer squared per year. Okay. So that's 22. Let's take a look at 23. It says all the plastic waste to be discarded as trash and sent to landfills. Okay. Looks like we start recycling in the 1980s, and they give us an equation. All right, so T is number of years since 1980, and D is the percentage of discarded waste. So the vertical intercept, remember, when we have Y equals mx plus b, the b is your vertical intercept. I'm abbreviating VI. So if we rewrite this equation, it would look like this. D equals negative 1.28. That's your slope plus T for time plus 100.97. So your vertical intercept would be the 100.97. So I'll use the typewriter tool. All right, so as an ordered pair, it would look something like this, right? 0, comma, 100.97. And the practical meaning would be that in 1980, 100% of the plastic waste is discarded in landfills. Now you might say, this number is bigger than 100. How can that be? Well, remember, this is just a model, so it's not perfect. But we know we can't have a percent greater than 100. The greatest a percent could be is, 100% or 0%. So we'd say 100% of the plastic waste was discarded in 1980. Okay. What is the slope of the graph of this function? The slope is the m in y equals mx plus b, right? So in this case, the m was the negative 1.28, right? So m, which is your slope, is negative 1.28. And remember, that's in percentage terms, right? So the percentage of plastic waste discarded in landfills decreased, that's the negative sign, by 1.28% per year, okay? So again, the practical meaning of this negative 1.28 means that the percentage of plastic waste discarded in landfills decreased by 1.28% each year, okay? And then finally, the horizontal intercept, that's where you'd sub in 0 for y and solve for t. Right? You'd have to solve this equation for t and then give me the practical meaning. Okay? So if we solve that for t, I think you end up getting t equals 78.9. As an ordered pair, it would be 78.9 comma 0. And that means 78.9 years after 1980. So let's just call it 79 years after 1980. There'll be no more plastic waste in the landfills, right? So that would be the year 2059, right? In the year 2059, the amount of plastic waste in landfills would be 0, okay? So I think we'll stop here, and then in the next video, I'll start on channel problem 24. Thank you for watching.